Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Today's conversation is going to be about the fact that a million things can go wrong on eBay, but this group is about making sure you're consistent, meeting your goals, growing. But I was thinking about this. I was listening to um, what makes people consistent, and a really, really big goal, something exciting, something inspiring, something motivating. You hear something that you really like, a better life, paying off debt, big bank account, security, all that good stuff that we talked about in the call. And we talked about that yesterday. That's only good enough to get started. So that they call it the entrepreneurship seizure. It jolts you into action. So somebody somewhere hears something and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and they want to make a change and they start. That always starts from inspiration, motivation, but that doesn't keep people going. It just gets people started and then they essentially burn out and are not consistent and then they stop. So what I wanted to ask you guys today is, what's something that you think about that is bad? And then that helps you be consistent. So as an example, I have to call out Isaiah because he potentially had 60 late shipments. Maybe not, but he didn't do his weekend shipping until Monday evening and his internet went out. So that's a bad situation. That can be bad. It could potentially, move him from top rated standard to above standard, or it could be worse than that. Who knows? But for me, I feel like one of the reasons why I'm consistent is I think about all the different things that can go wrong. I think that's really important because if you think about all the things that can go wrong, then you just try and prevent those things and you're good to go. So I think everyone, if you can think about something that makes it difficult for you to stay consistent and remove that, have a backup modem, have a backup computer, have a backup headphones, backup photo setup, backup camera, extra supplies so you don't have to run out. All these things ready. Like you want to list 30 items today, but you have 60 prepared. You want to get to bed early, you start unwinding 3 hours before. Like everything that can go wrong, you start planning for it. So does anybody have anything they want to share that could go wrong that they try to prevent and that helps them become more consistent?
Losing inventory.
Losing inventory is a great one.
No, it's not. It's a horrible one. It's the worst.
Okay, so what did that motivate you to do?
Well, basically do exactly what you had done, which is to completely redo my inventory system. And everything is much, 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 much times 5 million better since I did it. Much better. I don't have the meltdowns. I actually never actually lost something. I just couldn't find it at the time. But I'd spend hours looking for that one thing that was put in the wrong bin or had been returned and I hadn't refiled. All those little system processes.
Okay, so did you completely start over when that happened?
I had to. And it was a nightmare because I had 2,900 items when I started. It took me a long time. It was not a fast redo process.
Okay, so I have to restart the live because we weren't live on YouTube. So I just repeat the beginning of it, which is today we are discussing things that can go wrong with your eBay store and how that can motivate you to do the right thing. And it's actually easier to stay consistent if you think about what can go wrong, because you just start removing all the things that can go wrong during your day, and then you become super duper duper consistent. So it doesn't matter. So like yesterday, Isaiah, who's supposed to do the beginner call, couldn't do the beginner call. I have enough margin that I could do the beginner call, even though I think that I'm pretty busy. I still was able to do that. So like you have to somehow, think about what could go wrong and then be prepared to address that. So like for Tech, on the day that a hurricane rolled through and he had to go, drive hours away to be safe. On that day, he listed 400 items. On the day that he had to drive away from a hurricane, from a natural disaster, he actually did more than his normal listing goal. So it's like, actually, maybe that motivated him to do more work. Every time, like the best stories are something horrible happened to me and I overcame it and became successful. Like everyone wants to hear that. Right. So the thing is, it doesn't usually come from, I wanted to be rich, so I worked hard and got it. Maybe that's what happened to get started, but I don't want this to happen to me again is very, very, very motivating. Like Jen not wanting to lose another item ever again or redoing her inventory system. So Jen, that happened to me when I tried the Reseller Nirvana method, and my first inventory system was a box I got out of the garbage. So I got a moving box out of the garbage can. That was my inventory system. So when I numbered them in the box chronologically, because I didn't have bags in the beginning, they were just loose in the box, 1 through 10 in the box, and it took me half a second to find the item. I was like, I'm not doing my old system anymore. I want to be able to find items in half a second. I don't even want the bins to be more than halfway full because I don't want to move any items. I don't want to move any items in the box.
That's a mistake that I made when I redid my inventory. So the next time I run, because now I'm going to go through my inventory twice a year.
Yeah.
And because now I've got nearly empty bins now. So that I've, started doing this, but losing those items needed to be fixed. And fixing the process for returns and cancellations needed to be fixed. I had no process for either of those.
Yep. So I think eBay is as simple as this. You start doing something and then something is annoying or takes too long and you start fixing that. And then you start, one time you run out of labels. So you have to drive to Staples and pay $1 per label. And then you remember, you know what? I don't want to have this happen again. Labels are only 1 penny. Labels are 1 penny if you buy them on Amazon. That's why I'm not a fan of people stealing labels from UPS. Your business can't afford 1 penny. You have to steal. Come on, don't steal labels from UPS. Just pay the 1 penny for 1,000 labels that cost $10. It's really important to just think about what could go wrong. And then I have so many internet things that I think I have 8 internet things that are available in case my internet goes down, because that can't happen. It totally messes up everything. So now, because I'm on Whatnot now instead of eBay, it's even possible that Whatnot goes down. So in that scenario, I don't want my people just waiting around. There's other things that they can do. So like everything is set up so it doesn't go as planned. And nothing taught me more about that than having a baby. Because like she does not, as much as I want her to follow an exact schedule, it doesn't work. So anyone that's had a kid understands the unpredictable nature of that. And if you run a business, you need to get used to it and then just start thinking about what can go wrong. And then I think tech has flushed out all the different things that can go wrong in his mind over and over and over again. So he just avoids all those things. Like he eats turkey sandwiches because usually you don't get sick from that. Like I have never heard that someone getting sick from a turkey sandwich. It's usually not. It's usually something different. So it's interesting thinking about avoiding what not to do. Maybe easier to stay consistent than thinking about your goal at the end.
Well, I did come up to it now, but
Well, hold on, we've got some muted. Let's see.
Chris, are you still recommending everybody get redundancy in their gear, like 2 phones or 2 cameras and
everything, back up everything? Like it, that's what a draft bank is. It's backup. So I remember when I started to grow, on Monday, I was always panicking. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then tech was like, you have to do some shipping on Saturday and Sunday, unless you want to be a mess on Monday. I was thinking about Isaiah shipping 60 shoes Can you imagine it's Monday afternoon and you start shipping 60 shoes? That is so stressful. I would not want to do that. Like I'm trying to live a low stress life. I would love for it to be Monday morning and I have 10 to ship because I already did it over the weekend. Yeah, I love the two is one and one is none. There's one more thing. One more part of that saying that I forgot. Maybe it's three. How do you ship on Sunday? So you just get all your packages ready. You print all the labels, pack your items, do a little bit each day. That's why when I was doing eBay, I had a couple of different schedules. I like 7 days a week, 5 hours a day. That actually makes more sense to me as an eBay seller. So you're not even working 40 hours, but you ship at the same time. 7 days a week, 5 hours a day is like you could do maybe 40 to 50 items a day and make 6 figures and be done by 11 in the morning every day. You can have all the family time, all that good stuff. But think about what can go wrong. So if you think about what can go wrong, it eliminates all of the pain. Like, as an example, somebody said, oh, I wish that my spouse would scrape off the food before they put their dish on the dishwasher, so it's easier for me to clean. I actually don't care because I already assume that all the food on everyone else in my family's plate is going to be hard crusted onto the plate. I don't care. That's like the worst case scenario is they left the plate under their bed for a week and it's, I need to spend 4 hours scraping it off. That's fine. That I already know that can happen, so it doesn't bother me. I already knew I could get suspended on eBay, so it wasn't like the worst, like my life didn't end because that can happen to anyone. So if you think about worst case scenario all the time, maybe you do have a little bit of anxiety, but you will be really, really, really consistent. I'm telling you guys, thinking about what, like after having a newborn, I just assume there might be a night where I have zero sleep. So that doesn't mean I can't, it doesn't mean I'm just going to lay down and cry that day. I just have to do stuff. So it's possible. Like I remember, I think either yesterday or the day before, I was trying to get my daughter into the car and she was like, no. And I'm like, we need to go home. She's like, no. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to outlast you. We'll just wait out here and I'll wait for you to get tired and then you're going to want to go home. So it was like maybe not even 4 minutes. She got tired and was like, okay. Then she was ready to go home. But like you got to be able to outlast all these things that happen to you and then prevent them from happening. I have extra labels right next to the printer, extra supplies. I have extra people now because, when I had, now no one that works for me has a cat, but when I had cat people that work for me, they would have to take days off to take care of their cat. So now I have a cat problem. So, and that wasn't a job requirement. It just happens that the people working for me now don't have a cat, one dog. Yeah, she learned no, which was very powerful for her. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is another thing. Cindy's talking about rearranging her supply. When I first started at eBay, I can tell you guys what happened. I didn't know what to sell. So I went to Savers and someone recommended I sell 3D puzzles. Have you guys heard that before? 3D puzzles, buku money. So I didn't know where to store those. So I stored those in the cupboard in the living room. So my cupboard was full of games. And then somebody said, I read Rake and Profit and he said, Blazing Profits. So I learned about blazers and those are hard. Those are like one of the more difficult categories. So I had a few blazers in my closet and then I had stuff in my garage and stuff in my kitchen. So then it's hard having stuff all over the place. So when you start consolidating, hey, I don't want to walk upstairs to get this. I don't want to go over here to get this. When you start rolling through all these different things in your brain, I think you start becoming more consistent. I don't think that the goal helps you be consistent. It just helps you get started. I could tell you guys you want to make $1,000 a week, you'll join the group. But if you don't start thinking about what can go wrong, you won't stay consistent. So I know she's advanced. I feel like terrible too. She's like almost 19 months. Yeah. Sometimes I hear people say eBay can be exhausting, trying to figure out all of the things. So yesterday blew my mind because I did a video called eBay safe mode. It's going to come out next week. And in eBay safe mode, you're not allowed to use best offer, promoted listings, markdown, or you're not allowed to use any of the 9 promotions, no best offer, no offer to watcher. Only thing you can do is the components of a quality listing: title, photos, item specifics, price, return policy, shipping. That's it. And I was just thinking, if you are a beginner, right, and then you add 9 different promotions, that's 9 different things that can go wrong and your item won't sell. So we should not do that in the beginning. You should remove the things that can go wrong. So that the only thing that left to do is to do what's right. So I don't know if that's resonating with anybody. I just feel like thinking about what can go wrong has really helped me stay on track, because so many things can go wrong and I've already sort of prepared for that. I know, right? She's gonna be, when she turns into a teenager, I already know she's gonna be a pain in the ass. I've already figured, like, she's so opinionated already. Like, because compared to the other babies, she's very vocal. So it's gonna be a wild ride. See, I already know that. I already know she's not gonna want to hang out with me, hang out with her friends. So I'm not cool. And then she's only gonna come home if she needs money, or if something bad happened, or if I cook some really good home cooked meals and she wants to come back. So I'm preparing myself for that because I want her to visit. Because we live here so that I'm close to grandma, and I feel like I don't think she's a very good cook, but all the other things is awesome, and I will visit her forever. So hopefully I can do the same thing for my daughter. Nobody has anything go wrong. What goes wrong in your eBay business that you guys can fix?
Hi, Chris. I had something go wrong. I've managed to put SKU numbers on the wrong pairs of jeans.
Yep.
And they're about 15 or 16 out of the numbers that I think they are. And wow. I'm having to bring all of my jeans back home because they're at a garage. And I'm going to have to go through every single pair of jeans and check that I'm basically going to re-SKU number everything from the beginning and to re-SKU number them all. So I've probably got about 450 pairs of jeans, something like that, I think. And I'm going to have to bring them all back and re-SKU number them all. And I don't want to do any more listings until I've sorted that out, because I'll only be increasing the problem until I sort it out.
That's a great one. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure all your inventory system is intact, and that's a really good example of a triple check. We take a photo of the SKU, we write the SKU in the custom SKU, and then there's that redundancy. So I wouldn't have to go back and reorder them necessarily, because the number in the picture is always right. So I going back, I would say a few items were not organized correctly, but I was still able to find them. So just make sure there's a little bit of redundancy. Isaiah was able to fix his internet in 14 hours. So I thought about this because he texted me saying his internet box broke. And I was thinking, I wasn't sure if the internet box is the modem or the router, but I have the 2-in-1 router modem and an extra one.
It wasn't the box.
Was it?
It wasn't the box at all.
It was the cable?
It was the cable.
Okay. So it's definitely worth the hotspot cost to be able to use the hotspot on your phone. So if it could be the cable box, which means you have to call your internet service provider to come fix it, or it could be your router, your modem. You should have a backup. You should also have Wi-Fi on your phone. It's really cheap. It's like
Yeah, I
under,
did. I couldn't, but I tried to run the shoe call with my internet. It didn't even work. Everybody was like, "You sound like a robot. We can't hear you." Like it didn't work at all. I was like, "Dang!" I was stumped. Yeah.
yeah. So you got to think of ways to avoid that. And then one other option is potentially to go somewhere with internet, print all the labels, and then come back. Like that's one solution.
That's what I had to do. I went to my mom's house, and that's how I found out their brother printers are amazing. Like, 'cause she has one, and it's so fast, so much faster than my printer. So I went to her house. I didn't like when I was shipping. It was like 12:30 or whatever, and that was the big error, right? Like this wouldn't be an issue if I would have been shipping on yesterday at like, well, not yesterday, on Monday at like early in the morning. But I did other stuff throughout the day, and then I did my shipping in the evening. So because I was shipping in the evening, it made it so that I was susceptible to this problem happening. And when it happened, like I didn't even know I could drop a bin on that cord and break it. But when I dropped the bin on the cord, I was like, dang, our internet is broken. It's not working anymore. And I couldn't go to my mama's house at 12 o'clock in the morning and go, hey, can I use your internet to print off my labels? Like I can, but I don't want to wake her up in the morning. So I was just like, we'll go get it early in the morning and then drop the packages off at the distribution center. But ultimately, like Tech said last night, it was a lack of preparation on my part that kind of lined me up for that situation.
Yeah, because I was like, your internet broke at night. That's perfect.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. But I didn't realize you ship in the evening. So
I don't normally ship in the evening. Usually I like start my shipping around 12 and then I'll be done with it around like 2 at the latest. But not yesterday, Monday, I didn't do that. So it didn't work out for me. The one time I did it differently, it completely backfired.
I know. And that's always when it goes wrong, is when you do it differently for some reason.
You talked about that earlier this week or last
Yeah,
week.
I did.
You were like, you always have a car accident when you do it differently, when you go in a different
Yeah, that's right. Like it's because like a lot of times when people drive to work, they're on autopilot. Do you guys know that? People like don't even remember how they got to work. They just get in the car and it's automatic. But that day, for some reason, you're gonna take a detour. It's still on autopilot. You get in a crash because you're not paying attention. So it's amazing how one day you get a return, right? So maybe so Barbara is saying she gets a return and not putting it in the right bin. So that day, maybe you start your day with getting a return, right? Or I'm sorry, you sell an item that's already sold before, or you look for an item that you sold and it's in the wrong bin, or any of that, right? And it throws you off your game. That day, you don't do your listing habit. That's happened to somebody in this group. Something happened in your day that messed up your listing habit. So I don't like if you guys were to think about how difficult it is to, okay, when I was doing higher volume, it's hard to stress how magnified a mistake is. When you're doing under 30 items a day, like something goes wrong, you can probably fix it. If you're doing hundreds of items a day and something goes wrong, it's like the butterfly effect is so huge. You have to be really vigilant about any deviations. So Ty says she was in an accident last week on her way to go sourcing in a different route than she normally goes. Yeah, that's right. And people will say that, oh, I'm sorry, I don't normally screw up, but it happened. And that's what happens when you change it up. So somehow you need to have your day be similar, at least the part that's important to you. You just had to search for an item that it changed the SKU because it had to open the plastic bag to answer a question. Yeah, that's right. That's why you kind of have to do things all the way through. So now I'm addressing returns all at once, and all the way through. If you open the bag and then don't finish the return, you're touching the item again. So it wastes time. And oh yeah, I like the zipper bags and I like the Ziploc bags instead of the peeling ones. But the peeling ones are the fastest. That's just something you have to consider. You can
Kristen?
even say, Kristen, sorry, my items are sealed and stored in a separate facility, so I can't check for you. But I appreciate your question, and I have free returns. You can say that, which is not necessarily untrue, and the customer might be like, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I can't buy your item because I need to know. And you say, okay, sorry about that. Thank you for your time. So, I mean, it's not going to kill your business, but you could say that. The cost on the zipper bag is similar. It's not, as long as you buy like 500 or more, it's not too much different.
You know, you were talking about doing things in automatic mode, and
Yeah.
yesterday I was listening to Text Call, and Christine did a mistake, and she sold a whatever, a t-shirt for, you know, it's worth $300, and she sold it for $69. And I was like, damn, I was hurting just for her, just listening to that. And then just after that, 5 minutes later, I realized I had made a sale. I normally send out like offers to buyers for, you know, a bunch of them for 20-30%. And this time there was only one item that was being watched, and I sent the same thing. I did 23%, and I sent the guy $23 because I don't know, eBay, I was just doing it in automatic mode, and eBay changes the thing from percentage to amount when it's one item instead of when it's multiple.
Right.
So when you select multiple, it sends an offer for percentage, but when you select one, it sends an exact amount. So I sent the guy, it was $100 item, and I sent the guy a $23 offer. It didn't last 3 minutes, and the guy bought it immediately. I was like, damn.
I did the same thing last week.
Damn, it happened to me last night. And then I remember because I told Tech, like, hey, just cancel the order. And he's like, no, you can get the worst defect doing that. And I'm like, you know what? You know, you live and learn. So I left it like that, and whatever. I'm shipping it today.
I did the same thing last week. I meant to do a $75 offer on a $120 item, and instead it was 75% off. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It hurts when that happens, right, Catherine?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
So I think
I was in automatic mode.
Automatic mode's interesting. Okay, because here's the thing. Everyone's listening to this call right now because you want to make a change, right? You want to change something. If you already made it, and you probably don't need to listen to this call. So making a change is hard. You can't make a change on automatic mode. So everybody got that? You gotta like be really fired up about, okay, I'm here to learn something. I want to change. Currently I'm doing 5 listings a day. I want to do 10. How do I do that? I got to do twice as many of everything. So make sure everything is all set up. You have to be present. If you go into automatic mode, you'll just do 5 listings again. You have to turn off automatic mode and go into manual mode and think about all the things around you. That's like when Tech said that he considered it a personal defect to drop the hot sauce. That was like an inflection point in my life. I was like, oh, wow, I drop a lot of hot sauces throughout my life, throughout my day. Like, I'm not paying attention. You need to pay attention so that you know, like, for example, on this call, sometimes my daughter will say hi. I need to respond back hi. If I don't respond back hi and I'm focused on this in automatic mode, then she'll be like, oh, my dad doesn't respond when I call out to him. So it's just part of you're going to get distracted throughout the day, and you have to be on it. Like, it's best if you can fix it immediately. So, let's say that, you need to pick up the kid from school, and you automatic it and don't notice for an hour. That's a huge problem. You got to address those things like immediately. So, and that only happens if you're present. If you're in automatic mode, it doesn't work. That's why, like, if I have a stressful phone call or something goes wrong, I will pull over. I'm not going to drive and listen or talk on the phone if it's a conversation that's important, because it's going to totally suck away your focus on driving. And for everyone in the group, that's the highest likelihood that you could die, is driving. So, like, try to pay attention. The highest likelihood of you screwing up your listing is during the listing process. You only need to focus for 4 minutes to do one listing. Don't automatic mode your listing. So in the moment means not automatic mode, thinking about where you are, all the context. Like as an example, Cindy said, not sending offers is scaring her, but she's not understanding the context. eBay safe mode, you're learning how eBay works. How do you sell an item with no tricks? Then after that, after you know how, then you can do whatever you want. You can use all 9 promotions and offer to watcher, everything, but not until you know how, or it doesn't work. Like, and that's why I think it's so cool that a lot of tests for how to become a cook or chef, they'll like ask you to cook an egg. They want to see how you cook an egg, to see like how you pay attention to detail on the fundamentals. If you can't cook an egg, then you can't work at a nice restaurant. Like it's that simple, right? So if you can't list one item well, then eBay is going to be really, really, really hard for you. So one at a time. Max says, usually those perfect storm examples are 3 or more things go wrong. Yeah, that's actually true. Sometimes people are so used to things going wrong that one thing going wrong doesn't matter. Like when I listen to Mel Robbins, even though this is before I had kids, when she said that she was about to get a divorce, she lost her job, they were going to lose the house because they hadn't made mortgage payments in multiple months, deeply in debt. So husband's going to leave her, her kid is screaming, and she just kept hitting snooze. She's like, I don't want to deal with any of this. Snooze, 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 snooze. Like a bajillion problems in her life, didn't want to deal with any of them. So in that situation, her car could have broken down and she would just not care. So many things have gone wrong that it doesn't matter. So I think that that's really jarring to me. And at some point, there were so many things wrong that she invented that 3-2-1 system where she's like, if you don't take action in 3 seconds, you don't do it. So she was like, okay, I'm just going to start dealing with these things one at a time. 3-2-1, deal with my husband. 3-2-1, deal with my kids. And over and over and over again until all her problems went away and she became a millionaire. Just like that. Obviously, that's like 10 years, but that's what you do. At some point, you have a breaking point. And I think that's right. Max is right. One thing going wrong doesn't set people back. It's usually like, it's got to be horrible before people make a change. Like, yeah. To be consistent and have a super scheduled work day is almost always put you in an automatic mode. Yeah, I agree. When you have a schedule, it does create some automatic mode. So you have to have both. You got to be, did you say fleet on your feet? I've never heard that term. Yeah. But Kristen, when I heard Mel Robbins talk about, like, how come when she was about to get a divorce, that wasn't enough to change, or her kids were screaming, or her house is going to be foreclosed, or all her things are, or she's going into bankruptcy. Like her husband started a restaurant and it failed. So of course that's very stressful. On top, like, how come it took all of that before she was making a change? Where it's like Tech drops a hot sauce and he's like, oh, that can't happen again. That cannot happen again. I'm gonna hold the hot sauce with both hands on the way back to the table. It's not gonna happen. That's true. You don't use cruise control when learning how to drive. It's a good point. Now, cruise control is insane. My car is not even a, I have like a regular car and it has adaptive cruise control and it freaks me out. Like, and I know I've been in Teslas with self-driving and it's unbelievable. But is it like, would that be bad to teach someone how to drive in a self-driving car? I think so. We should learn in a manual car, probably. So I have one more thought for you guys. My worker now, she is a she used to run a kids clothing store before Amazon put her out of business. And she said that a lot of parents will give their kids slippers or Uggs, and it actually messes up their development because it's so easy to put on a Croc and a slipper, and it doesn't give them support around their foot. It's different than like wearing a shoe with more support when you're a baby. And also, like, like putting on a pair of shoes and tying the laces is hard, very hard. My daughter definitely can't do that at 18 months. I don't know what age a kid could tie their own, like put their own shoes on and tie the laces. That's probably hard. But imagine your whole life is just Crocs. It's just slip on. My brother showed me Crocs have 2 modes, regular mode and sport mode. And sport mode is the strap on the back of it that allows you a little bit more support. And he's like, try this. And I'm like, bro, have you tried a real shoe before? A real shoe has support along the whole shoe. You just wear slippers all day? This little strap is performance mode? Bro, are you serious?
Have you worn
I don't
Crocs
know. It's
before,
like,
Chris?
what?
Have you worn Crocs before?
Yes. They're not like regular shoes. They're horrible compared to regular shoes.
I don't know if you've ever put your Crocs in
Bro,
sport
I
mode,
just
man.
did this. I was like, there's no way. My brother's like, this is amazing. And I'm like thinking to myself, if this is amazing, then everyone wants the Croc version of eBay. And
I
I
don't know
don't
if you
know.
put your Crocs in sports mode, bro. Like
Oh
you
my
see the
God.
chat, dude?
They're
Like, are you looking
horrible.
at the chat?
They're horrible.
You're missing it, brother.
Bro, horrible. What Alfredo
You
say?
you know that you're a true entrepreneur when you don't even have time to tie your shoes, dude.
Oh my God.
You gotta do it that way.
No way, man. I'm not wearing Crocs. Regular shoes are awesome. The regular shoes are amazing. I can't handle it.
Unfortunately, I can't wear Crocs either, but yeah.
Marcus says grown men wearing Crocs look like homeless bums. Oh man, that's interesting. But I just think okay, people are like, so the gen method is really popular, right? And let's say you discount your item, you have a coupon, you have promoted listings, and you start getting some sales. If you think that's awesome, because that's the Croc version of eBay. If you think that's awesome, try doing everything that we say. Your sales are so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Like when I was doing the Reseller Nirvana, I literally was getting 7 sales every 100 items. It was so fast. Like when you do all the things and all the promotions, the selling, it's ridiculous. You need to hire someone to help you ship because it's too many sales. Too many sales is your problem. Try that compared to 1 or 2 tricks that get you 1 or 2 sales. Try all the tricks. Eduardo says doctors and chefs wear Crocs all day. I just don't get it, man. It's not a how about professional athletes? Do they wear Crocs? I just don't think it's good for your foot. You know, people have problems.
Yes, Chris.
Go ahead.
Yes, they do. Especially like
field?
MMA fighters and stuff. Yeah.
Not on the field.
Well, of course not on the field, Chris.
But you guys realize in eBay, we're on the field.
No,
You don't want to do eBay on the field? That's okay.
I'm
that's
sorry.
I want to play
Deadpool
on the
wears
field.
Crocs, and
It's-
Deadpool is very cool.
It's more comfortable for you to
I
like.
don't-
That's like being like you shouldn't have your anti-fatigue mats on your floor because like we're hard or something, you know? Like that's why
No.
people wear Crocs because they're comfortable
no.
while they're listing and taking photos.
No,
Like you don't want people to be comfortable, Chris.
I finally figured it out. I want to play eBay on the field. I want to be on the field. I don't want to be in the stands. Y'all are watching people resell. I don't want to watch people resell. I want to do it.
Chris is like, you need to
I'm
be
not-
when
I'm
you're
not-
taking photos, you need to have your cleats on, bro. If you don't have metal
That's what I'm
cleats on,
saying.
you're doing it wrong.
Get in the game. Get in the game. Wear your cleats. Sprint. I'm just thinking, I came up with the armchair reseller. Everyone's an armchair reseller. They want to sit in their chair and talk about reselling. I want to go in there and do it. I want to
What you got against our
on
shoe
the field.
choices, Chris? That's what is the issue with the shoes? Like, do we gotta take our photos of some
I
Jordan
was just
12s?
my brother literally was like, look at the performance mode. Look how much more comfortable the Croc is with the strap. And I'm like, bro, I cannot believe this is what you call comfort. I just
Chris
just
out
don't
here
get it.
wants us sprinting during our listening process. Like he's like,
Piece
all
of-
right,
it's a piece of
you just
plastic.
finished photos, sprint to the computer. Go. You got
No,
2
but
seconds.
I'm telling you guys, it's more fun. It's more fun to be in the game than to watch. It's more fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not true. Do you guys not think it's more fun in the game? I want to be in the game.
What do you mean by in the game? Explain what in
Like
the game
I'm not
means.
doing eBay to be comfortable. It makes zero sense to me. I want to get as many sales as possible. It's fun. I don't want to list just for the listing's sake. I want it to sell.
I
I'm
only
not
want to
doing
be in
it
the
for fun.
game if I know the game. If I don't know how to play football and I'm out playing football, it's horrible.
Yeah,
So
that's
same with
great.
eBay. I need to know eBay or it's not fun.
Okay, so
I need
I
to
guess
know
that's
the
the key
game.
then.
Otherwise,
If
I'd
you know
rather
all
watch.
if you know all the rules, then it becomes more fun. I
Yes.
agree with you. So it's just like
That's a very good thought. I agree with that too. You need to know the game to play the game.
okay. So if you understand all the rules, it's more fun. Then shouldn't people who are struggling on eBay learn more rules? So you can learn like how it works? Because that's why like
Yes.
go ahead.
She said yes.
Oh, she said yes.
Yes, yes, you need to learn.
Because I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to Rick Rubin, who's like this awesome music. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It makes it easy learning the rules. It takes a little bit, but it makes it much easier. When you start without knowing, it's really hard.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that if you don't understand the rules, it's not fun. And the example I'm going to give is Rick Rubin is this awesome music producer who produces a lot of the like big artists. And Joe Rogan asked him like what he likes to do for fun. He's like, I like to watch pro wrestling. And Joe Rogan's like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Why do you enjoy that? And he's like, Joe, you just don't get it. If you got it, it would be awesome to you. You just don't understand it. So it's stupid to you. So that's how eBay is. If you don't get how it works, Cassini is not a secret. We already know how to rank higher. But I'm sorry, we know what makes it rank higher, but people don't fully understand the rules.
I agree entirely about that pro wrestling thing. Like every time I go to Facebook, they show me a pro wrestling video, and I love it, dude. It's so good.
You love it?
I love
Yeah.
it, dude. It's so good. Like, and I'm a huge MMA fan. I'm all about like real bloody combat. But like, there's something about wrestling.
So he said something amazing that blew my mind. He said that pro wrestling is more like real life than MMA. Because a lot of real life is fake. People
Facts.
have
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah.
People have a Rolo printer. They're in this group, but they don't list. You might look like a reseller, but you're not in it. You're not playing our game. So I'm just telling you, I'm not wearing Crocs to work ever. You'll never catch me doing that. There's no way.
I can barely catch you in a t-shirt,
no,
Chris.
hell no. I'm not gonna wear Crocs to work. Can't do it. Regular shoes are so much better. Bad acting is on. I don't think pro wrestling is bad acting. It's awesome acting.
It's amazing. Yo, it's so good.
Like when they were talking about how ineffective a figure four move is, and that's like not real. Like that would put you in a compromising position in real fighting, but it doesn't matter. So it's like, for example, the figure four of reselling is cross-listing. It puts you in a compromised position because your attention is split. That's always that's like you're hoping your attention is split. So you can get some results, but you put yourself in a compromising position. But it looks cool, so people do it. Oh man, I can't handle it. Sally says the okay to improve your store. I'm Sally says you should pick up a jock strap too. I don't know. I just think that it's more fun if you know all the rules. That's the conclusion. That's right. Way more fun if you know all the rules. Why would you watch a sport? For me, watching cricket would would be more fun if somebody was trying to explain to me how it works. Like, okay, I didn't grow up watching baseball. I don't know a lot about baseball. I still think it's interesting though, because like these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars, and there's a lot of nuance to baseball. So I'm interested. I want to know how it works. Fishing. Why does it work? Why are some people great fishermen or fisher people? I don't know what the PC term is, but that is an amazing thing, how you actually do it. So learning the rules is huge. I'm like, and if you guys know me, I'm always like pushing the rules all the way to the limit. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I'm like curious, like if I'm playing basketball, I want to know what the best shoes are, to the point where they're almost banned shoes. To the point where they're mistaken as banned shoes. So I'm backing off that a little bit. Yeah, the rules are important for strategy. And sometimes you pick up a new strategy. So is Linda here? Linda, I saw a new strategy on Whatnot yesterday, and it blew my mind. This guy, because Linda does like winners pick, and this guy sometimes does winners pick too, but he switched it up yesterday, and he was doing high bid 1, 2, or 3. So normally you can choose a lot of different options, but he just narrowed it down to 3. And I noticed that this was kind of making the prices go higher, because sometimes people get paralyzed by too much choice. So 1, 2, or 3. And sometimes, this is really fascinating to me, 2 of the 3 options would be the same option. I thought this was hilarious, because essentially now there's only 2 options. In a winner's choice, sometimes you think more selection is better. So
can you give me an example?
yeah. So let's say that you have, it's winner's choice. I'll give you an exact example. Winner's choice 1, 2, or 3. In this example, 2 and 3 are the same option. So there's really only 2 options. So everyone is bidding, trying to win. And if they like one of the 2 options, they'll bid more. So it gives you twice the exposure to get a sale. But so people think that there's 3 options, but there's only 2. And it's funny that maybe he's getting a higher price than offering 9 options, because people are confused by more choice. So if like Linda, I say, what salad dressing do you want? You might know, but if I say, what salad dressing do you want? And I give you 9 options, you might say, okay, I'll skip the salad today. This is too much. I can't decide which of these 9 options we have.
Well, the reason I do it is because I'm appealing to different buyers, because all of my stuff is so different. So yeah, I might have somebody that wants the pocket knife, and another one that wants the glass paperweight, and then I've got like 15 different things appealing to 6 different buyers, and nobody knows what each other's bidding on.
No, it's true. And I'm just saying that's a different strategy. So when you have all the different strategies and all the different ideas and all the different ways to make something sell or gain interest, because essentially what we're trying to do is gain traffic, convert more. So more selection brings in more people. And then good stuff makes people stay and buy. So
I did implement your mystery box. Everybody liked it. So thank you.
Your own box?
A little mystery box. I did a mystery box on my choice. So and on my choices, you can pick the mystery box. And it's been a lot of fun. And it's been a real thing. So thank you for that.
If Tech had a mystery vintage shirt of your choice, I'm sorry, of his choice, then people might buy that. Like, I never did this, but I was always wondering, the men's shirt category is horrible. There's only like 20,000 searches a month for men's button-down shirt, and compare that to like 2 million searches for any single Nintendo thing. So the button-down shirt traffic is horrible. What if you just put size large dress shirt? I'll pick one for you. $7.99 plus shipping. I'll pick one for you. It'll be size large, it'll fit, and it's cheap, so I don't have to do any sorting, any pictures, nothing. I'll pick one for you. Does that work? I've never tried that listing, but it could be the cheapest on eBay, because you don't need to take any pictures and just send someone a size large shirt. Okay, so one more thought on the knowing the rules of the game. So when Rick Rubin told Joe Rogan, you don't get wrestling, that's why you think it's stupid. Joe said next, okay, I want to watch wrestling with you. I'll watch wrestling with you and you show the rules to me and I'll think it's awesome. And that's the right attitude. That's the right attitude.
What's the wrong attitude?
That's stupid. I don't want to try that.
Or I'll watch it with you and I'll still hate it.
But nobody, like, they're not really attentive. Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge football fan, but I still like watching football.
Dude, I had the most fun of my life watching, not the most, still, I had the most fun of my life watching football with my wife's, what do they call it? Like her family? I can't think of what you call your wife's family. My wife's family, basically.
Yeah,
I was
that's
watching
good.
it with them. And
In-laws.
yeah, there we
In-laws.
go.
In-laws.
It was so amazing. Like
Well, because
whenever we'd watch football at my house, it was kind of like tame. You know, there wasn't too many people who were like excited about it, but it was a whole experience over there. It's entirely different. Like we were
Yeah.
watching football wrong at my house
Yeah,
compared
exactly.
to
Yeah, I think that's what our podcast video is going to be about today. How much fun eBay is when you know all the rules. Every time you do something with an expert, it's awesome. If you go to a city and a local shows you around, James is going to be able to take me around for a better time than I can just figure it out on my own. Like you don't know. The best way to travel is to live like the locals. That's the most dope thing you can possibly do. Go somewhere and live like the locals live. They don't do the touristy stuff. I think one of the best tourist attractions in the Bay Area is Alcatraz. Most people who've lived here have never been. They just don't go to that, but it's like one of the best. Yeah, definitely. Marcus says the wrong attitude is I don't know how to do that and don't want to learn or won't learn how to. I guess the wrong attitude is I want to do that, but don't want to learn how to. That would be the worst. You want to do it, but don't learn how. That would be the worst. Kristen says she's been there and it was great. Yeah, I think it's top 10 things I've ever done. It's dope. Because you get to see, like, you're not escaping. I know they say you're gonna escape, but like they'll explain to you how you don't actually escape. Like maybe that's a good story and it makes for news, but escaping and then swimming across that water, not really a thing. They had a like basically 100% life sentence. But I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think everything is interesting. I am easily impressed. So when I look at how things work, it's awesome. When I look at newsletters or promoted listings or buyer groups or title structure, that's all interesting to me.
You're clearly not impressed by Crocs, so
I'm impressed by how they were able to make that a phenomenon. Like it's an upgrade from a flip-flop. That's pretty much it. That's for any other shoe is better. I don't get how what about just the slip-on shoe? That's just as easy. I don't get it. I don't get why. And Crocs also are a fashion statement. People love, I see Crocs all the time. It's amazing. Out. You can buy jewelry for Crocs. That's right.
Is the statement you're making that you've given up on life?
I know, that's it. Costco should come out with a plain version. Kirkland Crocs. Crocs are extremely breathable as well. That's true. Might as well go barefoot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an upgrade from a flip-flop. That's right. Ah, that's true. But what are those gardening shoes? The ones that are like dance goes? Let me look. Those are awesome. Yeah, sloggers. I think these are so cool. Like if you wanted to do some gardening, I guess that's like a croc though. But
I literally listed a pair of Crocs yesterday that looked just like those. Like, come on, Chris.
I just don't like it compared to a real shoe.
They did come out with a shoe that looks like the Nike Freeze, and they are the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn.
Wow.
I had them in last year in Greece for a month, and I could use them for everything, and they look like real shoes for the most part. I mean, there's the holes, but they look like normal shaped shoes with laces.
You want to say hi? Want to say hi?
Okay, so if you don't like the Crocs, then you definitely wouldn't like the Yeezy alien looking shoes then, right? Those wouldn't be acceptable either, right?
Like the Yeezys?
Yeah.
I mean, Tanya thinks he's pretty innovative with no tongue, right?
No,
I don't know. I've never tried them.
She's talking about the foam runners. He's
Yeah,
got
the foam runners.
They kind of like Croc material, but they look like alien shoes or something.
Yeah. They sell. I like them.
Chris likes those. They're drippy. He likes.
No, I still think that they're inferior compared to regular shoes.
What counts as regular shoes for you, by the way, Chris? Like, what kind of shoes do you wear when you're working?
Any sneaker. I just don't get it. Even no one's tried on like just a regular shoe. I don't get it.
Chris, don't these shoes have like a main purpose? So, for example, I do own a pair of Crocs, and I use them for when scrubbing the back garden and it's wet and they're likely to get wet from cleaning up after the dogs and stuff like that. I see that's a good purpose for Crocs, but I wouldn't wear them to the shops. If I need to pop out to the garden, I could put them on quickly, but there are certain uses you would have. It's the same as I don't need to wear a pair of hiking boots just to go in the back garden. I mean, these things have purposes, and people are obviously using them for the wrong purposes, is what I'm thinking.
I love how everyone has an opinion on the Uggs. I mean, on the Crocs, they killed it. Dude. Crocs killed it. Viral sensation.
That's lovely.
Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning,
baby.
Say hi.
Hi, baby. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi, baby. She's getting so big.
She's big.
She can't talk to us if her ponytail isn't up. That's probably why she's so yeah, she's lacking a ponytail, so like she just doesn't want to talk to us.
I know she is big. Wait, I can't believe they can't tie their shoes until 5 or 6. That's a long time.
They don't have the finger strength. Her fingers are too weak. She has to build it up over time by like doing big buttons and stuff like that.
She's like quite frustrated that she needs help with putting shoes on.
Yeah, her fingers
get Velcro.
Her finger muscles are just too weak. Unfortunately,
I think we should probably send her some Crocs.
Hell no.
Right?
Those are going
I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
Dude, Chris, do you have one of those PO boxes? Because if your birthday ever comes up, I just feel like all of us should send
now
you
I'm gonna
Crocs.
get all these Crocs.
Like,
yeah, and then he's gonna have a whatnot show selling Crocs for 50 cents a pair.
Yeah.
All in one.
Dude, whenever your birthday comes up, like, don't hide it from us. Like, we need to all just shoot you Crocs. It'd be great.
Yesterday, I sold all my shoes to Alfredo, and my workers are like,
all of your shoes, or like just the shoes that you
all
have?
the shoes that I got in the last few lots.
Gotcha.
And my workers were like, "Oh, why don't you just always do this?" I'm like, "Then none of you would have a job." You want me? I know everyone that I could just send all my stuff to different people who sell it, but then what would they do?
Hi.
I don't need them. So I'm like, you guys' job is to get me more money than wholesale.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
So we'll see how Alfredo does, because it's pretty cool. There's 5 pairs of brand new Serge Ibaka's, and I think they're probably worth $200 each, but there's like
When did you buy these?
size 17.
When did Alfredo buy these?
Yesterday.
Dude, Alfredo, how did
When did you have a show?
I've been having shows nonstop.
Dude, do you have shows every day?
Every day, yeah.
Monday through Sunday? Sunday through
So
Saturday?
sometimes we don't on Saturday, but usually we do.
And you're doing
Sunday-
shows
Sunday
every day.
through-
How many items are you doing per show? Usually
130.
every show? Is this a mix of
yeah,
clothing and shoes?
yeah,
Like,
roughly.
what is it?
Roughly, yeah.
Is it a mix of clothing and shoes?
I only buy shoes if they come with a lot. I'm not
What do you mean
actively.
a lot? What are you referring to? What kind of
So I
lot?
bought shoes from a guy in our group.
Yeah.
And it came with the clothes.
Mhm.
And the consignment deal came with shoes also. So the last two deals I got 400 pairs of shoes.
Dude. Like
So
we
I
never
told-
get to
I
hear
sold-
about like what you're actually doing work wise. Like we like that's so
I know, right?
interesting.
So yeah, it is interesting. Like as an example, yes.
Did she sneeze on you? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Is she talking to you?
She sucks her thumb and picks her nose with the same hand.
Oh.
Multitasking.
She doesn't have
No.
time to use the other hand, bro.
Yeah, see? She's picking her nose and sucking her thumb at the same time.
She's
I don't
too
know where-
efficient,
I don't know
bro.
where she
She
learned
would
that.
never wear Crocs. She's on the
She would
field,
never
my
wear
brother.
I don't get it.
But explain what you were saying. Like, go ahead.
Okay, so we sold 270 shoes one by one. It took 8 hours. That was $17 ASP.
Yeah.
And then if I sold the Alfredo for, and these same shoes are around, I don't know, $30 on eBay.
Yeah.
So I sold them the Alfredo for around 10 to 11 a pair, roughly in that range. But it's like there's seven. I sold Alfredo 88 shoes yesterday. 17 are
Jeez.
Neo in box. Those should do really good. Actually, that should pay for the lot. And then there's
Alfredo has like $900 you can drop on shoes. That's a good place to
$900.
be.
And then 700. He'll have 70 pairs that are pure profit.
Mhm.
So, but I don't want to run shoes. I don't want to make boxes.
Yeah.
I had to make only 4 boxes for Alfredo yesterday. For
Yeah.
clothing, it's all poly bag.
Yeah.
So, say blow kiss.
So in conclusion, Isaiah, I think you're sleeping on his sales.
Who said?
My sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How am I sleeping? What y'all talking about? Did I miss something?
Alfredo's paying attention.
Yeah, you missed the shoes.
Oh, like I wasn't there. Okay, I was
You weren't there.
confused, yeah. But okay, makes sense. Like I'm just interested in like what you and Tech do all day and like
Yesterday yesterday I also did your beginner call.
Yeah.
It was a busy day.
Yeah.